no beating around the bush this week. Let's jump straight into a villager hunt. So hello everyone, I'm Tofu, and welcome to a villager hunt on my rainbow themed island of ArcEnCiel. So today, we're not going to be hunting for any specific colour of character, we're just going to be looking for a few of the cats, honestly, as you can probably tell by the thumbnail. So today we're going to be hunting for Rosie, Rudy or Tybalt. And I've got a little list of settles and things like that, but they're the main three we're going to be hunting for today. I have got 85 tickets on me, or 85 including this actual island, and our first villager we see on Bamboo Island is Rex. He's a alright looking lion, probably one of the better looking lions in my opinion, but obviously not someone we're really after, and yeah, even if I did find one of my settles, it's far too early. We'd be looking to do that in about the last 20 tickets, so let's move on and try and find one of our delightful free kitties. So some might think that 85 tickets is a very odd number, and to be honest, that's just the amount of tickets I had on this island. I do have a little bit more on my sheep themed island of Utopia, but to be honest, I've got a villager hunt queued up on that, so someone wanted to leave, I've said yes, and so yeah, expect another villager hunt on that island. And to be honest, it just felt like a bit of a silly reason to go and get, like, say 15 tickets on the treasure island just to round up the number to a nice 100. It just seems like a lot of effort for not really a lot of payout. That was Plucky, by the way, and definitely not interested in her, so moving to the next island. So obviously I've mentioned the villagers that we are actually truly hunting for today, but I haven't covered any of the settles. So I was thinking Cherry, the dog, being the red colour, Drift being an orange frog, Lyman being a green koala, Hornsby, blue rhino. You've got Nan and Cole being black goat and rabbit, respectively. Clay and Bill covering brown, being obviously a hamster and a duck, respectively. And then Bonbon being a grey rabbit. And I'm trying to get characters that I don't generally have, so I'm trying to also spice up the species a lot and just going for a nice mix on this island. That was T-Bone, and I don't really like T-Bone, just, yeah, not for me. So, who are we going to find on ticket number 4? We have the pink monkey in Nana, and she is absolutely adorable. Definitely would have been one of the characters I would have loved for my pink villager hunt, but I did find Paolo, the pink elephant, and he was my absolute top pick. And to be honest, he's the only villager I've got on this island so far that I would be willing to have for the entirety of the island now. Everyone else is completely interchangeable, and I'm definitely looking for obviously some of the names that I've mentioned previously for this hunt. Anyway, we're going to be leaving Nana behind. Let's move on. So I just fancied hunting for very specific characters this time around. Like, I didn't want any, I guess, broad kind of hunts as far as like a particular colour of villager, or obviously when it comes to Sheep Island, I'll be looking for any sheep that is still available to me. Just to interrupt myself, this is Soleil, and she's pretty cute. Would be a very cute orange hamster to have on the island, but obviously we're not looking to settle right now. But yeah, I just wanted a kind of good old-fashioned villager hunt in which I want like 3 villagers that I'm very specifically looking for. I will settle for any of the settles that I have mentioned previously, but yeah, my main goal is obviously Rosie, Rudy, my absolute boy, I love him, or Tybalt. It's just kind of nice to be hunting for a very specific character, or 2 or 3. We have a tiger, but not the one we're after. We have Rolf. He's okay looking. He definitely looks like a strong, grumpy lad. Someone that would kind of fight or do heavy lifting if you asked them to. I don't know whether that's a good thing for his character or not, but that's my weird headcanon that I'm just giving him now. Anyway, let's jump to the next island, and hopefully we'll find one of our 3. So, what's happened in the world of gaming? Obviously, at the end of February, we had Pokemon Day and the Pokemon Direct, and 2 things that have really stood out to me, personally anyway, is the Pokemon Champions, which is kind of like an online Pokemon Stadium, which I think is going to be really interesting. Just going to interrupt myself, we have another tiger in Claudia here, and she's kind of okay, similar to Rolf. I don't really like the colours, I don't know, I feel the pink and the blue kind of clash a little bit, but she's fine, she's harmless. Anyway, back on to my Pokemon talk. What I'm really obviously interested in is the Pokemon Legends ZA game, which will be coming out the end of this year. So it does kind of beg the question, are they going to be releasing the Switch 2 before that? or is that going to be the last kind of swan song of the Switch original? Hopefully you guys are actually into Pokemon as well, so you'll know a little bit about what I'm talking about, but I'm looking really forward to the battle mechanics in Legend ZA. Just, it feels like it's something that should have been done with Pokemon a long time ago. Again, just to interrupt myself, we have one of our settles in Lyman, the green koala. And he's a cool looking boy. I think it's a bit too early to settle right now, but if he comes up again in, say, my last 20 tickets or so, then yeah, I would happily take him. It would definitely be different because I don't have that many koalas on New Horizons in general. I do have Sydney on the island, but I can't imagine she'll stay for the long haul. But yeah, next island. I did have a conversation with Mumsy regarding the Pokemon and the different kind of battle mechanics, and she kind of said that it makes like strength just a little bit moot. Like, obviously, what's the point of leveling up your Pokemon and then fighting if you've got the ability to just run and dodge out of all the moves, you know? And I kind of like the idea because then it gives you just other options. Like, I can base my characters around speed and just dodging. Like, if I wanted to take something that's quote-unquote level 20 and take on someone that's like level 100, I've still got the potential to win if I can just dodge and, you know, chip away at them. It might take hours, but I've got the possibility of doing that. I'm pretty sure the villager I just kind of ignored was Rowan, by the way, so another tiger. I just think the battle system will be really fun and kind of makes me feel like I'm actually in control as opposed to just, you know, telling my Pokemon, slap that one, and then they get a turn to slap me, and then vice versa. It just keeps on repeating until one of them falls down. Here we have Aurora. Almost forgot her name for a second, but it came to me just before her name popped up on screen, believe it or not. I was almost going to call her Rolled, but I knew that was wrong. She's pretty cute in her own way, very simple design. I'm not sure if I would prefer if she had pupils or not. That might make her a little bit creepy, just like she's seeing through time or something. I don't know, it's a little bit weird to think about. Just going back to the Pokemon talk, there's been a lot of kerfuffle regarding the starters in Legend ZA as well. Like, the two Generation 2 Pokemon, so Chikorita and... I always forget, is it Totodile? Always forget his name, I always think of Feraligatr. But yeah, obviously then it's mixed up. Instead of being Cyndaquil, you get Tepig from Generation 5. And a lot of people have made a big fuss because it's not all the three Generation 2 starters, but Cyndaquil was in the last Legends game, so, you know, can't be too greedy. That was Derwin the Duck, by the way, and he's kind of cool in his own way. Wouldn't mind having him in the future, obviously not someone we're after right now. I just think it's strange when people obviously want everything to be the same as it previously was in different games. So the fact that they're changing it up, I know they've obviously gone with 2 Generation 2 starters, but the fact they've put Tepig is fine, and in the last Legends game, the final evolutions then got a change. They got a change of design and obviously typing, and so the possibility of that happening again is probable. And I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing a really cool design from Tepig and just a different thing from fighting fire, because that's rather overdone. This is Patty, a very nice looking cow, but not someone we're after. Next island. Maybe I'm just quickly on the defensive because Tepig was my starter when I played Pokemon Black and White back in the day. But anyway, Anticipation Mountain, who do we think we'll find? 3, 2, 1, big reveal. Ah, it's the lovely and gorgeous Freya. I love this girl. I think she is criminally underrated for the Wolves. She definitely needs a lot more love, and again, much like Tepig, I am very quick to defend her because I did have her on New Leaf and she was my favourite, or one of my favourites on that game, and I did have her briefly on my Jungle Island Tanglewood. So moving away from Pokemon, obviously we are inching ever closer to the Nintendo Direct, in which they give a lot more details regarding the Switch 2. Are there any particular things that you're hoping they announce for that Nintendo Direct? Obviously, I would love to see something Animal Crossing based. I'm not very hopeful of it, to be honest. I think at most we'll get a game like name and then a rough indication of when it would come out. So like, I don't know, they would say like April 2027, but that would probably be about it. I can't imagine there would be much footage or anything to actually show. This is Colton, by the way. He's alright. I don't know, I'm not too into him. Obviously he is a costume villager, and they're very hit and miss for me. I always love a good Zelda game as well, but I find it hard to believe that they would have something of the same kind of calibre of Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom for the new console. Just because obviously Tears of the Kingdom came out relatively recently, and then they've just released Echoes of Wisdom, in which you play Zelda. And so yeah, I'm just finding it increasingly hard to believe that there would be a Zelda game as a release title. But I could be wrong. Obviously you could have multiple teams working on different titles, but that would mean that there would be plenty of time and development for a Mario game to be a release title. This is Octavian, by the way, the grumpy red octopus boy, and he would kind of work as a red villager on my Rainbow Island. Never had any of the octopus before, so yeah, that could be an interesting fix if we didn't find one of the red villagers later on. I definitely think that if a Zelda game is going to come out within the first stages of the Switch 2's life, it's probably going to be a remake of Twilight Princess. Like, the fans have been asking for that for so long. I think everyone will be really stoked to see it, and yeah, they would lose their minds over it, and I would be no exception. Speaking of something that I lose my mind over, Chadwick is not one of them, unfortunately for him. I'm just not keen, and then he's got his weird cross belly button out, and no thank you, not a fan. I will say, when it comes to Animal Crossing though, the one thing that I'm, I guess, a little bit hopeful for, in regarding hearing any news, is that they're still promoting New Horizons with plenty of different, I guess, promotional tools. So obviously we've got the aquarium tour going around the UK. They have announced it will be going to Australia and New Zealand, I think starting April, but I could be wrong about the dates for that. That's Renee, by the way, big bad queen from gaol-town. And yeah, I do like her, but obviously not for this island. And there's been news that's been leaked that Lego sets will be releasing regarding Animal Crossing anyway. There will be 3 larger Animal Crossing based Lego sets releasing later this year, I think, if memory serves. They don't know any details other than the amount of pieces, so they just know that they're going to be some bigger builds, which is kind of cool, and obviously leads to speculation that we might get the museum as far as those sets. Anyway, this is Pippi, and she's kind of cool. I always get confused with Gabby, and I'm glad that the name was already up on screen before I tried guessing her name, because I couldn't trust myself to not call her Gabby again. But I'm always happy to see that there's always something Animal Crossing related in the mix. You know, clearly there's still a market for it, and Lego and Animal Crossing fans alike are buying these sets up and showing that there is that market for it. So it would be mad to not develop anything Animal Crossing game-wise, and, you know, even if you gave us a title, that would be enough for speculation to go round, and it would build massive hype. Again, Bud here does not provide any hype for me whatsoever. I get creepy uncle vibes from him, and I don't like it at all. Running away. I have no idea how many tickets I've used up. I think I just saw the top of a horse, but I will have to obviously go up here to check. 3, 2, 1, who do we think it is? Go! It's Elmer. There he is. Not really too fussed with Elmer. He kind of looks a little bit worried all the time just because of his eyes, but, you know, considering his name is probably derived from Elmer's glue, then I think that's enough reason to be worried all the time. And for anyone that doesn't really get the whole Elmer's glue and Elmer horse thing reference, Elmer's glue used to be made out of horse byproducts back in the day. I don't know if you necessarily know that. I don't think Elmer's glue is really a thing in the UK. I think it's only just started to come over. And but anyway, this is Tipper, and she's quite a nice looking cow. Very simple, much like most of the cows, honestly. But yeah, it does have Naomi in that group, and I'm not very keen on Naomi whatsoever. Are we going to find someone good on this island? It is really nice just seeing all the islands in green and everything. It's just really pretty after the all the snow. We do have someone that is very pretty. We have Gale. Not someone I'm necessarily after, but is a cutie nonetheless. Like, look at her. You can't deny that she's absolutely adorable. Very kawaii. But we've got to run away, which is a little bit sad, but we must. Do we think I'm going to find one of my 3 kitty cats I'm after? Am I going to have to go for a settle, or am I just going to autofill? Here we have Renee yet again. It's our first dupe, I believe, and on the same island as well, which is a little bit disappointing. Obviously, here's hoping that I do find one of my 3 and that it can be a very lucky hunt, much like the last villager hunt I had on this island. But let's see who hides amongst the bamboo. We have another dupe in T-Bone, so that's rather disappointing. Yeah, running away. I know I've mentioned the fact that obviously we're in spring and all the islands are looking very green and lovely, but the fact that the in-game weather is really nice gives me a little bit of hope, just because when it's raining I don't tend to have the best of luck. Here we have the adorable Fauna. I've had her plenty of times on my islands. She was part of my bathrobe cult on my very first island on New Horizons that was run by Bob, mischievous Bob. But yeah, we won't be taking this adorable girl, unfortunately. But very nice face to see, nonetheless. And if you're a resident of the UK, obviously the weather has been getting a lot nicer, or at least it has in my region of the UK. And it's just been really nice to actually enjoy some sun and get out in the garden a little bit when I'm not working or playing Animal Crossing anyway. Here is the absolutely fantastic Chief. Very good looking character. I have had him on my Japanese themed island of Shimizu. But yeah, not someone we're after today, unfortunately. So we're going to be moving on. Pretty sure that was someone that Mumsy was looking for quite a while. I have had quite a few of the wolves on New Horizons now. The one that tends to elude me the most is Whitney, and honestly, I'm not sure I'd be able to say no if she turned up in the final 2015 ticket, something like that. This is Moose, and I can easily say no to him. He's just one of those characters that I really am not into. The whole raised eyebrow and like weird sideburns and curly hair thing, just nah, not for me. Okay, kitty cats. Any one of the 3 would be good. We don't have a cat, we have Zucker, Takoyaki Octopus Boy. I'm trying to get a good view of him instead of just pushing him around, so sorry about that, Zucker. Yeah, much like the rest of the octopus, I've never had Zucker before. He's one of those weird ones because obviously he's really well designed, like, don't get me wrong, but I don't think I would want him on an island just because every time I see him I would be reminded of the food, obviously takoyaki, and just become hungry, and that would, yeah, get really old really fast. Now, I could be wrong when it comes to the amount of tickets I've used, but I think we're getting close to about 30 odd, so I might just hit about 35 if we haven't found someone by that point, and then do a quick fire round of maybe 10-15. This is Claudia. We've obviously already seen her before, so I'm not going to talk to her. I'm going to put out our fire, and away we run. It'd be very lucky to get one of the characters I'm after before we obviously do my quick fire round. I mean, it'd be lucky if I got one of the characters in general. But here we have a Rolf yet again, so another dupe, that's like 4 or 5, obviously put out his fire as well, and to the next island. How many tickets am I on, just out of interest? Let's have a quick look. So this would be 35. Okay, so we are going to push it up to, obviously, the round number, so I've got like 50 tickets left, and then do a quick fire round. Here we have the lovely and delicious Frita, obviously a resident of Utopia, and a very nice face to see. Never had her before Utopia, like many of the sheep, honestly. But yeah, I really have just a massive soft spot for basically all the sheep now, just because of that island. They're just really well designed, and I love them. So here's a bit of a weird thing to start talking about, but you know, this happened, so why not? Mumsy just came in to the bedroom, where is our recording room, I guess, and she had to show me a photo from the family group chat that we have, and one of my brother-in-laws has, I guess, been thrown off of a playground roundabout. So obviously, just a thing you sit in, and then other people spin. You go round and round, and someone's span him so quickly that he's flown out of it and is like proper making air. And so Mumsy's absolutely laughing her head off at that, and yeah, the family chat is now absolutely going, just having a field day, going mad, and they're photoshopping him into all sorts of crazy scenarios, like him standing on the ledge of the the Grand Canyon and things like that. It's absolutely crazy, but very funny. By the way, before I ignore the fact that I saw her, I saw Queenie, and no thank you. Very pleasant purple though. If I have enough time, I might actually do something very similar and just cut him out and then start photoshopping him into various, humorous locations. His birthday is actually coming up, so I can make a calendar out of it. Just really random bit of news for you. Here is the beautiful Chrissy. I love her so much. Never had her, as I've mentioned plenty of times. I'm sure you already know this if you've followed my channel for a while. But I want her so much so I could reunite her with Francine. That is one of my favourite villagers. Much like Whitney, obviously I haven't seen Whitney, but I did mention that if she came up it'd be very hard to ignore her. Chrissy would definitely be very hard to ignore if she came up in the major settled territory. So if we do see her again, it is probable I'll be taking her home. March is actually going to be a really busy month for us. There's just a lot of family birthdays that happen in March. It's Mother's Day at the end of March in the UK. I know that you have different Mother's Day dates when it comes to the US, and I don't really understand why that's the case. Anyway, this is Tipper. We've obviously seen her before, so I'm going to run away. Let's put out a fire like we did for the previous dupes and run off to the next island before we do our quickfire round. Okay, can we get lucky before we go into that quickfire? I've just seen Elmer again, so the answer is no. Okay, so we're going to obviously do a quickfire round. I'll walk up to the villager, say their name, maybe a little bit about them, and then move on. So, see you in the next island, and our quickfire round starts now. So, first villager of our quickfire round, we have Colton yet again. Too many dupes so far. Next up we have the cutie in Melba. I do love Melba. Next up is O'Hare, and I kind of like him just because of his silly hat and how it clips for his ears. Very silly reason, but there you go, I'm a silly person. The colourful and good looking Pietro. We have Mop the Lion. He's okay. Next up we have Pate. And up the waterfall we have Wolfgang. Very handsome boy. Another bamboo island we have the Mafia Don himself, Marlowe. Good to see him again. We have another dupe in Patty. It's a shame. And yet another dupe in Octavian. What are all the dupes coming out today? Come on guys. On top of Anticipation Mountain we have the lovely Blanche. Ah, we have the gorgeous Whitney. She just came up at the wrong time, didn't she? I'll still might take her home later. Next up is Rhonda. Kind of pretty rhino. Yet another dupe in Rowan. The dupes just won't leave me alone today. And the last villager of the quickfire round we have Sly, the cool looking camo alligator. So the quickfire round turned out to be a bust. I'm pretty sure we got more dupes than we did actual just, villagers we haven't seen before. Anyway, on to the last 35 tickets we have now, and this is the quite cute Piper. Very simple design, but quite cute in her own way. But despite that cuteness, I'm obviously not taking her, so we have 34 tickets left, and hopefully we'll be a little bit more lucky on the back end of this villager hunt than we were on the front. So we have seen some really good characters on this hunt. Obviously we've seen Lyman, who was on my settle list. We saw the gorgeous Chrissy and Whitney, who weren't on my settle list, but I would happily make exceptions for them if they came up, like I said, in the last 20 tickets. We also saw Pietro, who would be a fantastic find for my sheep island. And kind of reminds me that obviously I've got a hunt lined up on that island. And yeah, makes me wonder who I should actually look for, because there's any of the sheep basically that I haven't had before, which leaves Barbara, Eunice, Muffy, Timbra and Pietro. So is there any one of those 5 that you would want me to hunt for more than others? And just before I forget, that was Anchovy that I've basically just snubbed, so yeah, moving on. So Pietro would work quite nicely for this island as well. Obviously he is a sheep, so would fit nicely on Utopia, my all sheep island, but he is kind of a rainbow boy, isn't he? Anyway, this is Norma. Almost forgot her name. I don't think I've seen her so far in this hunt. I've seen Tipper twice, I've seen Patty 2 or 3 times. But yeah, I don't think I've seen Norma. But she's pretty. Very nice, simple cow design. And the thought of Pietro being a rainbow boy has kind of reminded me that I wanted to work on a entrance build for my Rainbow Island. Obviously I hit 3 stars, so I can unlock terraforming and all that jazz. And I just don't have much of an idea for it, honestly. I'm finding it really difficult. This beautiful girl here is Daisy, and I've never had her before, but would absolutely adore having her. She's just a fantastic looking dog character, isn't she? And obviously she's a normal, and I love the normals. They're just, yeah, so good. But alas, we cannot take her this time round. But regarding the entrance build and my struggles with that, I might have to just go on a couple of dream address tours and things like that, and just see if I can get some inspiration, see what other people have done when it comes to their really colourful and rainbow themed islands. Speaking of colourful, here we have the adorable Judy. Someone I've never had before, but I must admit the colour scheming is just really, really eye-catching and really pleasant. I'm not really sure about the anime-esque eyes, but she is adorable nonetheless. So in regards to inspiration for my entrance build, I guess if anyone knows of any rainbow themed islands or really colourful islands, then be sure to drop the dream addresses down below in the comments, just so that I can obviously check it out and, yeah, try and gain some inspiration. This is Boone, and yeah, not for me. So yeah, moving on. Obviously we are into our final 30 tickets now, so hopefully we can have a little bit more luck than the previous 55. Or 56 really. If I did do a load of tours, is that something that people would want me to do on camera, or should I just do it off of camera, obviously get my inspiration and then do the entrance build? I don't know, just let me know I guess. This is Carrie, and I often get confused in my mind with her and Kit. I think I've just about kind of learned which one's which. Is Carrie snooty? Because I think Kit is a normal villager. But yeah, obviously it doesn't really matter, because either way we're not taking either of them, depending on which one it was. Obviously it's Carrie, I know that, but yeah, not interested. Moving on. I definitely feel a lot more motivated to just carry on building on Utopia, but that's because I'm getting closer and closer to finishing that island, whereas I haven't even really started the designing on ArcEnCiel, obviously my rainbow island. This is Lucy, and she's quite a nice looking pig. Yeah, Lucy's alright. Not someone I'm after, but still, kind of pretty. I guess I'll say that I'm not unmotivated to do designing on the rainbow themed island, it's just that I have a lot more ideas when it comes to the various, I guess, coloured sections of the island, so green, blue, red, things like that. Whereas the entrance, I don't know, I'm really unsure as to what to do, so I definitely need some more inspiration. This is Pudge, by the way, and he's alright. I'm not super into Pudge, but he's harmless, you know, he's very unoffensive. Very pleasing orange and green though, like, yeah, some nice colours. But anyway, let's head on to the next island, and hopefully we'll get a little bit more lucky there. Okay, so for you guys, it's just another ticket, but for me, it's been several hours. So the little one woke up from the nap she was having, which was when I was recording previously. And yeah, me and Mumsy went downstairs, had some dinner. Everything's all good, everything's really nice. And yeah, I'm now renewed, a little bit more positivity, and we're going to find someone. Let's go. Who have we got? I saw a little, was it Brown? Ah! It's Rudy! It's my boy! One of my top picks. The unofficial mascot. I say unofficial, he's kind of official. Let's make it so. But of course I'm taking Rudy. Of course I am. I can't say no to this boy. I did it once on this channel and it was just the worst time. And he is currently on my sheep island. And I'm going to have to move him on so that I can get, obviously, entirely sheep. But he's coming to my rainbow island and he is going to be my red boy. So that's going to make it a lot less painful trying to move him on from Utopia. Ah, happy ending. Fantastic. Can I emphasise just how much I love this boy? Is it painfully obvious yet? Yeah, found Rudy! And there's a bottle. Yoink. Best day ever. We have a new friend on the island. Let's give a big ArcEnCiel welcome to Rudy. Yes, yes! And so guys, I'm going to call today's episode here. Thank you so much for watching if you made it this far into the video. And if you enjoyed, please hit like and consider subscribing if you haven't done already. if you would be interested in me doing a couple of tours as far as rainbow themed islands or just very colourful islands, then be sure to let me know in the comments below. As for my next couple of videos, obviously I'm going to be doing a villager hunt on Utopia, and yeah, if I can get enough inspiration, I will do a entrance build on this island. But until then, I want to say a massive thank you, hope to see you there, and of course, have a good one. Cheers guys, much love.